I slowed this down about as slow as you can go, and I am concerned that this might be too slow. It might not be. Let me look at it. The only reason this might be okay is because you're running very slow. So for every time you do this, the motor's going to sit. Have time to cool down. You might say, well, how hot can it get? Well, if you're, this here, it's on more than it's off, or 50-50. And a motor has to run so fast to cool itself. Now, these motors are sealed motors. They don't have fans in them, but still, that's about as slow as it'll. I tried turning it down slower, and it stops. So this is about as slow as it'll go. Of course, you can speed it up. And we can trim that down so you can't go that fast inside the circuit board. The back tuner gives you guys, your operators, a small range. And actually, we can make it so that it's always the same speed and not even have a potentiometer if you want. Once you know the speed never changes, how you want the card to go in, then we can eliminate the potentiometer and just use a resistor of the right size and be done with it. That'd be actually, that's about the slowest. You can see it's not going to squirt into whatever you have to put it into. I don't know how close you can get. You're going to have to grab it like right in here. If you're trying to put it into something, you're going to need to shoot it into something. Now ideally, I would gear it slower. But as it is, the motor has a 1-inch pulley on it, which is about as small as you're going to go because it's got a 1/2-inch shaft. And it goes from a 16 tooth to a 20 tooth. So it cuts it down a little bit. There's no room to put. I could go with a little larger pulley, a little bit, but we're really talking, I could go from a 20 tooth to a 24 tooth at least. I don't think I can get a 28 tooth in there. And you're talking about slowing it down just a hair more, not much. But I mean, the more we can slow it down, the better for you guys, of course, so that's not a problem. To really slow it down, I need to put a large pulley here, like that big, to really cut the RPMs. Because we're cutting the RPMs with the DC drive. Or we'd have to add an extra series of shafts, and we don't do that. We're getting into way more complicated engineering for the price we're in. But that's about where we're at. Let me know.